There we go. Now it's finally popping in there. I tell you, I don't know what's up with that timing over there on the YouTube.
I do not either. I don't even know.
It's Tuesday. Normally we tweak things on Tuesday, but this Tuesday is all about texture, implied texture, visual texture.
Yes, and some actual textures will be used to create the visual texture.
So, sometimes some actual texture has to be utilized to create the faux.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, y'all do say hello in the chat so we can say hello back. Otherwise, I do not know that you are here. I like to know that you're here. All of these lovely, awesome people in the chat that are already, you know, being all friendly, whatever, they like to know that you're here. They like to say hello and, you know, they answer questions. They do all sorts of things. They're very helpful. Anyways, I also cannot say hello to you if you do not say hello because I don't know you're here. That's how I know you're here. And while you're at it, thumbsy upsies, y'all. That's the number one way to support the channel. Get this whole, you know, get the word out there. Get this arty word going. Word. All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? I'm going to try to make it quick. We got lots of things to do. We got Angie, Ann, Anina, Becky, Betty, Carol, Kathy, Carrie, Christy, Cookie Wookie, that's Mo, Dana, Eddie, Elizabeth, Ellen, Estella, Gerald, Hoarder Paper Crafts, that's Mimi, Yanka, Jeanette, a.k.a. Janet, Jennifer, Just Me, Carla, Leslie, Lisa, Lydia, Marguerite, Marta, Maya, Nancy, Naomi, Panka, Ricky, SAG, that's Sarah, Sandy, Franklin. Got our scarves on, Sandy, and I got a little piece of what? There we go. Okay, sorry. And see, I deviated. Sherry, Silver Granny or Grumpy Gnome, that's Lynn. Star Travel, that's Linda. Sue Davis, The Shelly Studio, that's Margot. Tracy LaBeouf, and I saw a bunch of y'all popping in there, like Helen and a bunch of other people that you got to give me pinky hello hands. Let me see here. We've got Leslie. I said hello to Leslie. Betsy, Jennifer McKenna, Candy, Helen. All right, Sonia Nelson. All right, pinky hello hands. That's the way to, you know, definitely get my attention and get that hello said to you. All right, P. What are we doing? Now, we will be doing some giveaways. I'm going to do one more Loverly because I left out some names and that was totally my fault. So I feel like, you know, we should do another one for our Loverly people. So that will be happening today. And then I have 1,001 entries. Now, some of them, so if y'all left a comment on multiple streams, your name will be on there multiple times, and that's gonna...
Oh, I did not know that.
Well, you remember I said I was gonna pick names, and then I felt bad about that. So, I grabbed up everything that I possibly could.
Bless your heart. You rock, Mariah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Hey, nobody's 100%.
That's right. Nobody.
And that goes right into what, you know, we're talking about today is
put a little light on you.
Texture. And I have a little spiel to read here for you, but I'm going to just start it off with a little...
Just face cam?
Just face cam. Don't over me yet.
Okay.
Hi, SW. Today, Tina. We ain't swimming. We're just testing the waters. That's my disclaimer. Right off the bat. Because the stuff that I've got lined up here, I don't know that we're going to get to it all, but towards the end of it, it's going to be fast and furious because I am bound and determined I'm going to get everything in. Okay?
She got up all chipper this morning and everything.
Like, oh, I did. I couldn't. I was just lying there and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I need to get up. I need to find that, because I know I won't remember it later, and of course I won't remember it later, and I just thought of something that I didn't do.
Just remember something else.
It's going to help me. Okay, there we go. All right, here goes. Visual texture occurs, and I want to set this because my glasses are just, I don't know. They told me I needed to come in. Visual texture occurs because your mind memory can recall what something feels like when touched. The nature of visual clues, what the eye actually sees, is associative, relying on past experience to define it verbally. Attaching a word to that experience gives it meaning and can have a profound emotional impact on perception in the future. There are generalities that are accepted and apply across cultural boundaries. A sharp, pointed-looking marking indicates danger. Think scratch marks made by a tiger or a wolf. And the brain applies that meaning almost automatically. Marks that are circular, humpy, and loopy denote safe, pleasurable states of being. Think the flight path of a swallow, cumulus clouds floating across the sky, fluffy sheep on the side of a hill. What distinguishes a texture from a pattern? Now, this is something we really struggled with when I was teaching this at elementary school, because really they are kind of interchangeable in a way. Patterns have predictable repetition, or they can't qualify as a pattern. Textures can create patterns, but not always in a predictable manner, and usually a word associated with touch comes immediately to mind. That is, and I know that that's really, we're kind of tightrope walking that as far as definition, but that's what I'm going with, and that's what you will be experiencing today, hopefully. Okay, visual techniques. Mariah's going to do a screenshot of this so that she can put it into Makers.
Might even make it a blog, who knows? Let's see how.
Crumpled tissue, the shadow technique with stencils. Stamping repeatedly. Offsetting the stencil. Prints from texture plates. Pardon me. Direct drawing in paint on the gel plate. We're going to use some of that wonderful paint that Golden sent us that's open. Found objects, trash, bubble wrap, netting, etc. Looking around. I mean, all of you have great things that you mention all the time. Those things are all wonderful texture developing devices.
Actual texture to create visual texture.
Yes. Okay, and remember the cardboard tape roll. And I heard somebody talking about toilet paper rolls that actually fit onto a paint roller.
Oh, there you go.
I've not done that. I just know about it.
I heard about it somewhere.
Pardon me. I'm just having all kinds of. All right. So then we get, and we'll talk about lines and how to do different lines with your pencil that talk about the things we just talked about over here. You know, is this going to be happy slappy, or is this going to be kind of something a little edgy?
Yeah.
And I have some things. Pencils make completely different mark making than do your pen or an ink situation. Remember when we had the little book with all of the different designs in there? Those are all things that contribute to texture and mark making, and how the two mark making is almost is a manifestation of textures, right? Or
well, it's the beginning. It's one of those,
and it's a developmental thing. It doesn't really become texture until it's not recognizable as a pattern.
Yeah,
is what I think. Take it to that extent. Okay, putting that there so I don't cover up something that I'm going to talk about later. All right, Mariah, I think I'm ready to go top side.
Wonderful.
And I wanted to talk real quickly about this. I'm not going to do a lot of this today. I'm going to do other things because you've seen this before. You can see the offset where it creates a little shadow around the other one.
I love that.
And that somebody mentioned the other day they actually liked my Brayer offs better than my. Well, that happens because when you're using the open paint, you've got a great stencil to slap down onto the paper.
That's why I came back and named that the way I did, because I wanted people to know that.
That was excellent. Okay, now before we get into that, I just want to show you two quick examples here. Okay, do you see? Oh, here's Izzy's drawing. She wanted me to show her bunny today.
And she wrote bunny, just in case you didn't know it was a bunny.
Texture on that grass there. Sharp and spiky. And overlapping the bunny. And I like the butterfly. Look at the wings on the butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's a pretty sophisticated drawing. And we spelled it correctly. I see we had a reversed N and we erased it.
Yeah.
Bless her heart.
Yes.
We need, if I could just get her to date those things. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, this is just an edge of something, and I can't tell you what stencil. Mariah probably could.
Actually, I bet it is zigzag.
Aha! Well, I just taped two sides together and came up with this kind of toothy thing. And it really works well to do the modeling paste over. Because you get a sharp one, and then you gradually just scrape it off to nothingness out here, and it works really great. And I want to talk about this stencil because I don't know, does this sell well?
What?
This one.
It does all right.
And I'm just kind of speculating, you know, one of the reasons that it might not is because it does look kind of scary. It's sharp points, and
well,
of course I made those into sharp points.
Yes, you did. I was going to say, what is in the shop is not this.
Okay, well, what's in the shop isn't this. And
I mean, we do have the strips, but see, I think you took...
I did. I cut mine out and made them little pointy, arrowy things there, which I guess you can do if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Then you compare that to, say, this, and you can see the difference in the feel of, you know, oh, yay, light and fluffy and rolling along, you know, and over here, and you're going, ouch, ouch, pokey, pokey, cutty, cutty.
That's what she does-y.
So, anyway, yeah, all right. I'm going to use these because I think they're really great. They've already got texture on them, and they're from my old craft paper days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That, for whatever reason, that paper, like...
reappears.
Well, no, but it would create that.
Yes, that mealiness.
It has a...
And this is some more of that craft. This is one of Izzy's original paintings. Isn't this wonderful? This was done when she was about 3.
Well, you didn't mark
and
it
Mariah wrote, why toss a salad? Now all the good stuff is at the bottom.
Salad.
But doesn't that look like a salad? And then I found this little random piece in there. It's a cheap, healthy main dish pilaf. We like to, you know, appeal to a lot of, and this was actually in this book, and I think it was because it was keeping some pages separated that weren't supposed to be together.
We'll go with
all
that
right.
explanation.
Here we go. Mark making using one of these kind of pens. I don't know which one.
But something similar.
Something similar. I think this would be described as gestural.
That's the Statler, and what point is that?
0.3.
There you go.
It's a really skinny one. I don't think that's this
pens.
one.
Any of those.
I love these. Mariah doesn't love them as much
them.
as I do. And this one's really... In fact, I've just about burnt the end off of that.
She's done rubbed it off.
Rubbed it off. Oh, and here's a pigment liner. This is 0.6, so this is a fatty compared. This is probably closer to that.
Candy, so you can find those X's. So those were all my X's that came from Texas, but then there's the strip set, too. Strippers Volume 1.
Will they be next to each other?
I think it's Volume 1 or Volume 2. I'm pretty sure it's 1. Because really what it was is she kept showing those. Now it's going to be a little bit different because we had to size them to get the 5 of them together. But yeah.
Watercolor that needs work. All right, now here's some examples.
Hey, and you know what's funny? This is actually, part of this is in one of the laser print sets that you can order at PM Art Studio.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
I forgot.
When I tell you that things come from her art, they do. That's in one of the sets.
Pointillism.
I love that.
And this is nice, soft. See, look at those. Look at those wonderful. And doesn't this even look softly textured? And this is done with
it looks fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
And that one that you were just showing there, not that one, but the fluffy one, actually was a start of one of the prints that's in the Shibori set.
Oh.
Colors completely different and everything. But a lot of, when I say that, like, piece art starts...
I remember that. The little loopy.
A lot of our things, yeah.
Okay, hard edges. Totally different, but we still got that circular design out there.
Hi, Marguerite.
Yeah, this is kind of insane. Here's some definitely gestural. And I'm coming back in and doing a little pencil work there. Obviously, that needs more work. There we go. That's some more stuff there. Here's some gestural
Fluffiness.
circular. Lots of little fluffy circular businesses going on there. Now, there was one other one that I wanted to
Did you
show
mark it?
here that deals with, okay, there. Now, see, this is a good example of conscious balancing. You have these nice rounded shapes repeated here, but then you've got some others that are just a little bit stickery. So you have, you know, both things going on. Then I went through a whole stage where I was doing repeated patterns. That was horrible. Now this is nice. This has actual texture, and I spent a lot of time on it. And many layers. Okay, this one here probably weighs 5 pounds. I'm going to put, because it really is. It has a lot of.
That's so funny. There are a lot
It has glue. It has collaging, has watercolor, lots of colored pencil.
There's some actual texture on there.
Actual factual texture. Oh, and this one. I think we also have this one.
Some of you that have ATCs have a a reproduction of this shrunk down on the backs of some of the cards.
And then this one, which I think I have this on here because it's oil pastel.
Mm-hmm. And that other thing wouldn't be looking like it does.
It wouldn't be looking like it does if it got rubbed
You need
against.
to, keep that.
Okay, so that was my real quick
Demonstration of lots of different mediums, creating different texture, utilizing anywhere from markers to pencil to pen will create different lines, which then create different visual texture.
Absolutely. Okay, now, yesterday, all you saw on this was the red, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that one?
Remember
that one? Actually, that's from 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I decided I was going to put a purple layer down because remember, actually, this is probably 5 different layers that you're seeing here because this was down there.
Yeah, across 3 different streams.
Across 3 different streams.
I've decided that most of the really layered up prints are going to be about 3 streams worth. Seems to be the average.
You know, the thing about it is it's still a little bit patterned because you can actually see the whatevers there. But I wanted to make a point here about this. This is the stencil I used. And it has 14 layers of paint. I'm just guessing. I don't know. But it has enough that it does not adhere to the surface of the gel plate, especially if there are prior layers of paint already on the gel plate. It's not going to stick down there.
Right.
So when you're brayering on, it is doing ever so little bit slightly moving because it's not adhered perfectly, but it's also not sticking down there, so it's going underneath the stencil, which you can see that, you know, in different places here.
Yeah.
Where you don't have a sharp design there. See that right there? That's because it's going underneath the stencil. Keep that in mind when you're doing.
Makes it fuzzy.
If you want a nice, clean your stencils.
That's what she's saying.
Or go ahead and buy another one.
That works too.
And,
that particular one is called Art of Protein. She hates that name, but that's fine. That looks fabulous together on the back side.
Doesn't it?
Just glue it down.
Just
It needs
glue
to be
it down.
retired anyway.
It needs retiring anyway. Yeah. Okay. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah. All right. That one now can go away. Here is the one that had the very light, where I brayered it off, and I pulled it with Indian yellow, which is very close to that aurora, aureolin.
No, there's not an R in there.
It's A-U-R. There's an R in there.
Pull up the thing.
I can't find it. It's in the box. It's beyond my reach.
We'll need to talk about that.
Okay. I pulled this with gold. After adding a turquoise layer. Or maybe I had the gold down. No, the turquoise was the last layer.
No, yeah, because this is the one you had pulled the gold. Like, so yesterday.
Yes.
Kind of latter part of the stream. And then she put down the gold, but remember she had put...
I brayered some of the gold off.
Right, through the stencil, basically.
Yes.
Removed it through the stencil. So what's
Removed it through the stencil. And so you just get those little halos. I think this is really pretty.
Yeah, that's the one, Eddie. So there is an R.
But I do not know.
Arolin. I think it's Arolin. Arolin.
Arolin. I think so. I love this one because it has such a nice matte quality to it. But it does have a bit of a sheen, and you can see there's little remnants of sparkles in there. They just keep on giving.
Sparkles. Ooh.
Well, we talked about this.
Did I have a part in this one?
No.
I bet I did.
Well, we talked about what color we should... I just had the copper down, but remember it already had something else.
What's the weird
smeared on there?
And yeah.
And I think it was probably one of these color changing.
Yeah, because it's really, really interesting how it, sort of dulls it, but then color shifts it.
Color shifts it, and that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
But this is pulled with the diazonine.
That was a good call.
Purple. This one was also pulled with the diazonine.
I love that.
Purple.
That's beautiful.
But remember, this was the gold leaves were first.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did the more open stencil print.
Right, with the copper.
With the copper.
And you pulled with the diazonine.
And then pulled with the diazonine.
Nice.
And this, remember this one? Hansa Yellow?
Mm-hmm.
It took 2 days to dry. And there were still some issues with little pieces popping off yeah. But you can see it, when you turn it, you can see the flower.
Oh, Eddie said it was from when you were painting the faux leather pocket.
Oh.
Look at him remembering things.
Yeah.
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 Hello, Sandra, and hello,
And then
Susan.
this one, remember this one already had some stuff down on it, and I didn't get my corners good, and they stayed on the plate. Yeah.
But hey, you got most. Remember, we talked about that. We were a little worried how much of it was actually going to come up.
Yes, and we used the
It looks fab.
The white to pull it with, and I may have gone a little light.
Hey, that's some visual texture right there, because it almost looks like it's been kind of rusted out.
Exactly. And it almost has that feeling of a dimensional surface, even though it's completely flat. And I think that's one of the characteristics that we're going to be talking about here. All right, very quickly, we're going to go through. And I just wanted to talk about the Buddha here for a sec. Because I want you to...
Is that the lost Buddha?
Pardon?
Is that the lost Buddha?
This is the lost Buddha.
Has been found.
I went through
Piles.
one box. I didn't have time to go through 2 boxes.
Wonderful.
Of stencils. Small ones. I want you to visualize just for a minute all of these rounded shapes become pointed. And can you visualize all of a sudden this is not going to be a nice friendly Buddha. This is going to be a scary one that you didn't want to meet in a dark alley at night. And that's intentional. That's because of this whole aura. And if you look at any Buddha that you look at has these nice rounded flowing shapes and whatever. Okay. I did this. This was a
well, those started out sort of as like with our texture plates.
Our texture, which they're MIA.
But then they get really pretty.
I don't know where they are. But anyway, it got to looking really good, and then I just came in with colored pencils. And this was before. I think what I'm going to do, but then I will lose some of that sheen.
This is before Artie Squiggles became a full option of a stencil. She did that with just the little strip of it.
I just had to keep moving them around and
let
doing
it dry.
Which, yeah. And then I've got, of course, this side. I like putting this one down on the plate because it does leave a really cool impression, and it'll kind of do that sucking up thing in those
puckers.
big, the puckering areas on the big thing. Okay, enough of that. Here we go. This is, when you're looking at it, what does it look like? Looks like it's flat. It isn't. It's textured. And, you know, there you go. I've got some ATCs to do there and mess around with and play with. All right, now, what I want to do is I want to do a shadow technique.
Oh, yes, because that leaves some very nice, usually, well, and obviously, depending which stencil you use, but typically, it comes out looking very fluffy.
It does, and I've got these two circular ones. This is the little, and one side isn't, but I want to show you, if you want to do this technique and be successful with this technique, there are two things. You need a clean stencil, because this isn't going to be pulling off much paint. It's just going to be kind of sucking it up a little bit and mucking it up. It
usually doesn't go well.
Yeah, it does not do nearly the job. The other important thing is your choice of paint. You don't want open, because you want it to start drying a little bit, because that's what creates that layering of coming off. And when you use the open paint, it just comes off. That's it. Right. Because it's not doing any drying. But then if you go with something like the...
Oh, wonderful. Sherry got her Misfit packet.
Anthraquinone. Remember, this is dry blue.
Well, a lot of the blues are dry. Something to kind of keep in mind.
It really is, but this one especially. And I have gotten some really nice shadow techniques with the...
We do have a lot of shadow techniques that have been done in blue.
Yes.
That's probably why.
I don't know. The blue paint just seems to work better. Now, I have done a couple with red.
Yes.
I remember.
Well, you did a whole rainbow for me.
I did at one time. And I don't want to lose these, because this is going to be important later. Here's an example of actual texture.
That's one from the little freebies that we send.
Actual texture that can be used on the plate to create visual texture. Same way with these over here. These are little pieces left over from the Yupo that I glued down. And you can see how they create a very interesting texture. The top part is sort of matte, but the underneath is, and that's just because of the... Okay. I need to put those so I don't lose those.
All right, you're 28 minutes in.
I'm 28 minutes in. I've got some more things to do here. I don't want to lose this.
You need me to hold on to anything so it doesn't, you know.
Okay, I want to see if I can use these papers to pull the print, and I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. Maybe not for this technique. Maybe for another technique.
And hello, Glenda.
I'm gonna. I've still got room over here. I'll put that on top of Izzy's.
Oh, I said hello.
I don't want to forget these, and I might use this. This makes a good.
That's cellular membrane. That's an oldie.
And I've never done a. Well, I have.
Yeah, Brad was.
I'm going to use one of these.
He'll be very happy because he was like, she just showed it. She didn't use it. And I was like, well, it was kind of like in the middle or towards the end of the book.
No, but it was when I had a whole bunch of other stuff going on. All right, so we've got our stencils here.
Drop my wrist.
And I do want to talk, don't let me forget, I've got stamps to show you today also. But I wanted to get some stuff going here before I started stamping. All right.
Are y'all feeling textured?
Are you feeling textured?
Visually. Have we stimulated you texturally? We just want to know. Asking for a friend. I love that. I don't know why that always makes me laugh.
I had to pull all those because today we're going to use the smaller plates, I think. Just simply because I think we can get more done.
You denied the peoples the pulling extravaganza. They do like it when you do all the pulls. But we got plans, y'all.
We do.
Need to move along.
All right, so this is anthraquinone blue. And you just you just start, and I'm going to put this down, and you...
I was trying to figure that out, Paul.
At some point, you just call it and say, okay, we're getting a lot of crazing here, which I don't really understand that. But, I mean, it goes with the bubbles.
Kind of, yes. Rhonda would like to know, when you glue down the painted Yupo, do you color the white side edges if they're showing? Well, I would. But that's not something that she'd probably be into. But I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah.
Hi, Colleen.
All right.
Hello, Ann-Lar. That was a good one to come in on.
Now that looks pretty textured.
It does. It could be rough or it could be soft. Because it could be pebbly. Like this one kind of.
It could be pebbly. It could be gritty. And that's one of the things.
This is bitextural.
Because in Texas, they identify essential elements. And I don't know what Izzy's art teacher, she's obviously, I don't know.
We don't know if they do that in the kindergarten.
They don't. Well, I have seen no evidence of such thus far. But anyhow, fluency. And fluency just means that you're able to actually describe something in multiple modes, right? So I would have the students come up with different words for texture. And I tried to, work with the language arts people. They weren't, I mean, some of them were. Because building a vocabulary, going from concrete, how something really feels, to the abstract, being able to somehow or other represent it in another form, I mean, that shows a lot of mental growth.
Yes.
And I'm not sure that always occurred.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we used a fluid acrylic to do this technique. Now I'm going to grab, and hopefully I can grab it without.
No, these are all just unused stencils that she has.
Yeah, that were from none of them are new. This is your...
But they were asking if we cut you new stencils. No, this is just stuff that didn't get used or hasn't gotten used.
Yeah. I asked for another one of these because I think we actually used this in a book.
Yes, that's probably true.
Because this is one of the originals from a drawing. And I've already showed you that.
And that one went through some phases of things, and we then ended up having like a 5x7, an 8x10, and a 9x12 version of it. But it was actually one of the very first ones we tried to cut. And it just didn't, we couldn't quite get it. We didn't know enough. So again, she's doing the shadow technique. It's where you kind of just move it around. And one of the things that we usually forget to say, but whenever you are applying pretty good pressure with that brayer as you are moving it around.
Manipulating, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that you really do have to go fast. And you can see it already dried, that paint is already dried up enough, but oh, look at my brayer still has a little bit of...
Oh, that was great.
Residual on there. Okay. So now we've got, just make sure that it should dry rapidly.
Ooh, that's
but
good.
We're going to take this off because I'm going to use these to do some stamping on. Some stamping
She's
over.
very proud of herself on that.
So there is a method to my madness here. But look at that.
I love it.
That's how you make one of your little stencils work on your larger plates. It does take a little bit of practice. I'm not saying this is what I'm doing here. It looks really easy. But I worked at this a long time.
Yeah.
And it's also knowing when to stop and when to get your paper down.
Yeah.
Because that's important.
Yes.
All right, let's do one more with this one. And let's go with, I promised you some red. Well, how about pink? Permanent rose. You know I love some permanent rose. I should use this one up that
She
I got
mentioned that.
back over yonder here so I can clear its space in the queue.
Oh, hello, Mary Ellen. Those
Well,
of
we're
you that
getting
have
a
come
little
in, do
blue
say
business
hello.
going on here, but
Yes.
this will be fine.
Oh, lovely. This one's very fluffy, and I'm glad you did it in pink.
Ooh, and that looks so cool over there.
It does. Keep in mind, again, so I'm just going to kind of repeat some of the things that she said with this, but to do the shadow technique, brand new stencil or very clean stencil.
Very clean.
Very helpful.
It is. And it doesn't have to be like pristine clean, but it needs to not look like it's been rusted out in a...
Well, or really dried up paint.
Or really dried up.
Because here's the thing, I think you actually could get it to kind of go again, but you're going to have to get, like, work at it way harder because the paint has to, like, start to...
I'm going to do another one with this one, and
Okay.
I'm so that I can
Here's
actually...
my suggestion with that, if you would like a little, you know, just, you know, across the table information.
I would.
I think that if you utilize one of your fluid acrylics, because they tend to be juicier or whatever, but they get stickier, I think it might up the paint that's already on the stencil, which is kind of what you're wanting.
So you're talking about high flow, not fluid.
Yeah, high flow, or I think one of, yes, both of the,
Fluid.
either
this
one
was
of those.
fluid.
Okay.
But I can do it...
Something's catching over there. It makes me nervous. And
I
then
know.
and then it goes a little tilty-toppy, and I'm like, oh, good God.
And it's because of these things with washi tape that I have on. They keep
Too much on the cart.
catching up on something back there. Look at this. Isn't this fabulous?
Okay. Ooh, keep that. See, that could be really awesome starts too. So creating masterboard doesn't have to be collage. It doesn't have to be any of this. This could be starting of a masterboard for the next set of ATCs, because you could get probably a good, because what size sheet is that? Is that the 9x12?
Well, it's whatever paper is.
Okay, most likely it's a 9x12, so therefore you can get 9 ATCs out of that.
We'll see if that happens. Oh, great. I hope that corner comes up because I didn't have it. All right, it is. Oh, look at that.
Oh. Ooh.
Isn't that... And you know, leaving it down there a little bit longer, plus this is a really clean plate. And I keep talking to you about that. I can't stress that enough. Yeah, you can leave all kinds of gunk on there, and you've watched me leave all kinds of gunk on there. But if you want to have that wonderful effect where you have end up with a clean plate like we did here.
And a crisp image.
And a crisp image. Then, yeah, that's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. So Mariah wants me to use a high flow. And let's see.
Hello, Tammy.
Let's do a blue and a black together. I always kind of like that.
Oh, yes, I like it too. Makes it interesting.
Black and blue. All right, high flow. You want to shake these until
You hear the balls rattle.
hear the balls rattle.
And sorry, it shakes the camera. Apologies. It's all connected around here. I tried to make it not. Someday, there'll be the pull. If you know, you know. A little bit goes a long way with this business.
Yeah, it does.
And she's on a little plate.
And I'm on a small plate.
I do.
You don't have to wipe their nose, but it will help you more later. Oh, look, we're getting...
Mm-hmm. Oh. It's a very crazing kind of day.
Well, it really is, and I think part of what's going on here is this is a really clean plate.
Yes.
Now, that Brayer off looks really good.
Here we go again.
No matter. We're going to go ahead and pull this anyway, because I think you're going to be surprised the amount of paint that actually comes off. And sometimes the layers that you make, they don't all have to be, you know, at you. You can have them be subtle, because then that way the next time that you add something, then you're going to have that ability to Oh, this will be lovely for the stamping that I have
It was subtle.
in mind today. Okay, we're going to let that dry for just a little bit. All right. Have I done a pretty good job of that? Everybody's kind of with me on that.
Thumbsy upsies in the chat.
You can see this didn't... Let me bring this back over here.
And thumbsy
You
upsies
don't
if you haven't on the
have
video.
quite that stiffness of crispness of design there.
Yeah.
It's a lot foggier and less... and I don't know, that may be okay. And it also will leave behind a little bit more texture once you get the paint, when the paint's going onto the paint.
Right.
Then you're getting texture from your stencil.
That's very true.
All right.
That is some actual texture into
Actual texture.
visual texture.
Okay. Now, I think we're pretty well done with that, but right now I don't want to.
Do you want me to hold on to anything?
I want my little screens here because I'm going to do something with those.
Now remember, that's it's still an exclusive. Like, that set just came out, a couple of weeks ago. I don't know, my ability to tell time anymore is kind of skewed.
All right. When we talk about applying and getting visual texture, you're most likely going to be
Thank you, Becky.
either you're going to be using straight lines or you're going to be using curved lines. And what's really nice, and the reason I didn't want to get rid of that one stencil is because I want to bring it back in here in just a minute, because I want to show you what I'm talking about, because I think it will be more, if I show you it, I can talk about it all day, but it's just, all right, I'm getting after it with some of my
Did y'all get all that?
transparent
She's gonna show you.
red iron oxide. Uh-oh.
Careful. And Mo has put the link to this particular set. If you are part of the RD Perks, then it'll take you right to it. Otherwise, it will say, hey, you want to join? That's how you become a member.
Okay, some of the stuff from my brayer is coming off on it here, and I don't mind that at all. I have this lovely surface over here that I'm going to whip that little booger down there
Whip it.
as soon as I can get my big old fat finger to.
That's where the fingernails sort of come in handy. Ooh.
Okay, now the reason I like using this paint. Now I am going to put it aside a little bit while I talk about what happened over here, because this is the dual purpose of getting your, look at that. Now, isn't that just wonderful?
Your Brayer off work is just like on
I mean,
fuego.
look at these little lines up there. And then all of these little guys, you can see the little lines, but what you're really seeing is where the brayer dug down in between the lines. So you're getting that positive, negative push and pull stuff that you just can't get it. I mean, I don't know how else you would get that.
I don't either. Yeah.
I don't.
Some things to keep in mind, though, with all of that being said, brand new stencil, flopping it over to the paper, you need to move quickly. Do not leave it down there, especially if it is like a regular paint. And when I mean regular, that means like not an open paint. Open paint will allow you to kind of probably roll that around. You could probably even move it and get it a bit more, and more paint will come off.
I'm going to let this dry just a little bit more. It is pretty dry, but I think I'm going to be removing some of it, just knowing what happens in the
Process.
Yeah. And it's not like I cleaned off most of my stencils. Now this looks like it's got a little mucky muck on it, but we don't really care. All right, so now I'm going to use these two. Same way. I've got, and I'm just kind of, I'm fluctuating here that I want, I've got a white strip here, but I think I'm going to save this one for some, because I have this cool stamp that I'm going to show you.
Hey, my chat.
All right, so that was red, what did I say it was? That was quinacridone Nicolazo Gold. Is that what I used? Or did I use, no, I used transparent red iron oxide.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little Van Dyke. And then what we're going to do to make it just ever so slightly more interesting, because this is not a very interesting color, I don't think.
Lexi says we need to move the brayer off a little more into frame. Or maybe one day we just show the brayer off and not the gel plate.
Who said that?
Lexi.
She was the one that said that the other day. You got some great brayer off. I do say that more than once. All right, now these are going to be great.
That's washout stuff.
This is washout stuff.
Oh,
Get it down over here right away. And you've got some great stuff going on there. But what I can do is once I have these over here and I've got most of it off.
Look, it made little bubbles.
Then I bring this back.
Oh, Poppy, the bubbles.
Sorry. Got great bubbles there. I'm going to try to get my other side of my paper done here.
Gotta move, y'all.
Moving and a grooving.
No lollygagging.
No lollygagging. None. Oh, and we do still have some bubbles there. Look at that.
Oh, thank you, Mudcat. Mudchat. I really want to call you Mudcat. Ooh.
Isn't that wonderful?
Now do you really want waffles? Julie was saying, I really want waffles, and then this really
I really want waffles, too.
I do like some waffles. We need some
Don't we have a waffle maker?
Yeah.
I know how. I have a great recipe.
I can't
eat
it.
It uses lots of butter.
I can't eat them.
Oh. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
No.
All right, we're going to... I don't know what the bubbles are going to do. But you can see, we have a texture here.
Mm-hmm.
There are little bitty dotty line textures here.
And more will probably show up than you realize. Again,
yes.
like...
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to bring this back. And Mariah, could I have the... never mind. I'll use this.
Okay.
Well, I kind of need two. I don't really have a...
Now remember, you need to kind of move along. You've got... So we're at... We're 45 minutes in, basically. But remember, because you are going to want to stamp and...
I do want to stamp, but I also want to draw on the plate.
Okay.
So, yes, I will do that. I'm just going to do one side here just to show you. Okay? And it will be good.
I know, but here's the thing. I mean, what are waffles without syrup? And I don't... Is there a keto syrup?
Well, you could make a... But you really can't have fruit either, so...
Yeah, not a lot of the sugar.
Yeah. And I think that definitely part of your problem with your over-imbibing was because your body was in shock.
I think
that you would receive that big old thing of sugar.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so, too.
Where the hell that's coming from. Okay. Got to get this off this, or I won't be able to use this stencil again during this.
Hello, Peggy. No worries. We're happy you're here. Those of you that have come in, do give those thumbsy upsies. Say hello in the chat so we can say hello back. And if you're watching on replay, always leave us a comment. You know, just say hello when watching, or, you know, talk about whatever if you're seeing something awesome.
We're going to let that set for a bit, but look at that. Isn't that cool?
Kind of weird color choices, but I like it. Kind of late 60s, early 70s sort of kitchen vibes. You know.
Okay. We're going to let that set a spell. We'll get back to that.
So we were drinking, I like whiskey. But then I think the other problem is like, after I had whiskey, I then made a bad decision and had, like, one of those White Claw things, which really has a lot of sugar and other, you know, and it's carbonated. That messed me up.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah. I don't think I ever had one. If I did, I was too drunk to notice.
Oh!
Okay, look at this.
Is the Stencil Rings of Madness. Yes. Yes, that's the Circle Rings of Madness, the 5x7 version.
Yeah, remember I taped all those boogers together.
Yes, they were.
And that was quite quite the ordeal, I'm here to tell you.
And we recreated it from a screenshot.
Yes. But this almost created a shadow technique there because the pattern of this was on the brayer.
Yeah.
And isn't that cool? Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's really cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. I'm not going to mess that up. I want to maybe do some stamping on that. All right, now, I think I've got enough of a collection here that I can start doing some stamping.
Oh, hey, Lisa. Hello, Nita, and welcome.
Okay.
We are working on visual texture. Some of it created from actual texture.
And I did want to draw.
Okay.
Should I draw before I do my stamping?
I don't know. I mean, I thought that you kind of covered that with your journal book, but you just draw away.
No, I don't. I mean drawing on the gel plate.
Oh, Scrafito.
Yeah. We didn't actually, advertise that per se.
No, you just like to do it.
I just like to do it. It's fun.
She likes to give some
It's
Scrafito.
fun and messy. Check it out. I already showed you all this.
Yes. That's
Look at that little baby Geopoly.
Sorry, it got kind of messy because I put the stamps on top of it, and it really does stamp quite nicely. It doesn't look so messy.
And look, as soon as I saw this one, I was like, yeah,
This is a new one from
I like
Sophia.
that one a lot. I would like this to be a stencil.
Yeah?
Well, you think about it. I mean, I know it's going to cause, you're going to have to do some alteration because the pieces just fall out and it's just an egg.
Kind of. Yes.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the texture of this.
It could be a little set, so you could get the piece that comes out of it that has the ... things in it.
This part here.
Yeah, and that would be a separate. Yeah, those would be separate pieces, and then you would have the egg shape.
And that would be cool because you could put them down on the gel plate and create this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sophia said that she was interested in getting some of her stuff made into stencils. I just said, hey, let's kind of focus on getting your stuff out as stamps first, and then we can.
Okay, now this is
Hey,
what.
and the new machine is awesome.
I don't even need to do this because Mariah's already done it for you. Just a really, when you're cleaning off your stamp, don't throw those things away.
Yeah.
Keep them because they're mark making and they're, cool stuff. Okay, let's just get after it here. I juiced up my...
Hello, Jennifer. Yes, we are friends.
My pad here.
We pride ourselves. This is one of the friendliest chats around, I think.
Oh, I think
I might be biased, but...
Okay, I need to get my board down so in case I get wild and crazy here and I go over the edge.
I love it. Mo says, much love, Geopoly has now from Foam Cousins.
Now, see, look, doesn't that look
That
cool?
looks fabulous together. Your pad is dry.
It is, but you know what? I kind of like it because I think that it's going to allow me to do another layer.
There's more visual texture there.
A lot of visual texture
We'll
going
go
on
with
there.
that.
Okay, now where's my little Geopoly?
I know, and I didn't even tell Sophia because I wasn't 100% on.
I don't even know which one this is, but it's going to be the one that we're going to like.
That's right. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Seems like a personal question.
Oh, finally I got a good one. But I don't really want that. I really kind of want that.
Yeah, the
shadowy. Okay.
Yeah, and the little Geopoly ones, there's 3 different ones that come in the set. I don't know if I had kind of mentioned that. Bye, Kim. Thanks for hanging.
Okay, now where's another one? Where's that blue one? That's the one I want. Okay, now this has a little dots, and there's a little dot out there in the
funny,
a little closer from the edge, and then this one's just simply lines. Okay.
I mean, it's all pieces and parts from it, but Brad just thought it would be cool to have like a 3 set that you could kind of switch them up and,
And I
your own
really,
pattern.
the other day when Eddie was doing his pattern and he went on the diagonal, that's the way you do it.
That's the way you do
If you
diagonal.
want them to, if you want to get, you know, like a
Proper pattern.
Because then what you do, you've established your pattern. You can come back in and you can do that. I'll squish that one around a little bit. Okay, so I suck at stamping.
Well, we love you.
Thank you.
I'll just leave it at that. I don't think people come to this channel to watch stamping. Or at least not perfection.
Well, if you want to have perfectly stamped stuff, you know, go to...
Well, that's when you're like, you know, making, like, you need the little liney-uppy thing. What's it called? The little...
Grid.
Yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They don't work with foam stamps, though. They don't have one for foam stamps. It's a different process. Yes, the mist.
I'm hopping and jumping here.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, there we go. Look at that.
Look at that.
Now we can take
stamp platforms.
Now we can take this to the large plate. Do something over the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And use another stencil. And we've already got this stuff on here.
Visual texture.
I love how that shimmers. Can you see that shimmer where the ink is? I think that's some fun stuff there. All right, now we've got another one, but I don't want to use that one. I want to use this one. Bring this back.
I love that. Please don't mess that up. I'm really loving the direction of that one.
Well, I'm not going to mess it up.
Okay.
Good golly.
I just like to tell you. In case you do, then I can at least tell the
Okay,
folks
what time is it? I want...
You have about 1 hour.
Oh, I'm in good shape.
Shaking the thing. I do apologize. She has connected all of the things, and therefore the camera shakes when she shakes. We're giving you a full immersion into texture.
I want that fat part up there at the top. I want it to go off a little bit.
Yes, and this is the wonky strip from Sophia, and then the other one I think was, what is it, Gladys O's or something like that. She was very happy that I chose that name because she gave it as a suggestion. I was like, that's hilarious.
What is it? Lattice O?
I think so. Hold on, I can't remember.
Not lettuce, but lattice.
Seriously, this has been around for going on for a while. It's just we were waiting for the new machine, and the new machine is life changing.
Now I don't need that one anymore. I need to get my circle stamp back here. I want to do some circle stamp.
Oh, Gladys, yeah, Gladys ovals. But see, it's like Gladys O.
Oh yeah. It reminds me of the bottom of pick 'em up trucks.
The bottom of the pick 'em up truck. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, that metal, expanded metal.
Oh, a little bit, yeah, kind of that. What are they? It's kind of like grating, but there's a name for that pattern or whatever. I just can't remember. I tell you, Jennifer, it's been awesome. Is this going on the gel plate? Well, this is a brayer off, but yes, I'm sure that she will probably do some more gel printing on it. And hello, Mia.
I also want to do some. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get this.
Hello, Leah. And hello, Kathy. Yeah, this is a very cool stamp.
Okay, I think that's enough for that.
Okay.
Now I've got this one, and I'm really feeling like maybe some of this. To break up all of that circly business.
Now flip it around and take it from the small. Yeah. There you go. Very nice. These are definite mark makers. I mean, they're perfect.
I think that they are absolutely. Okay, I wanted to, before I stop this business here, I've got some pieces of paper here that I wanted to stamp onto because I just thought that they would be perfect.
She found them. She found them over here.
I found them. Okay, now look. This is like one of my all-time favorite.
Okay, so this is also one of the X's. If you get that set, the one that I talked about with the earlier on X's that she showed.
Yeah, I cut mine all up.
You can either get the X's from Texas
somewhere. I just in this mess here, but I don't really want. I just want to show you that, and you know.
Can I talk just a second? Because I'm going to tell them the origin of the X thing if they're looking for X's. So that original one that you saw that she cut up, this one right here, the crazy one that looks all scary and whatnot, that came from the all my X's from Texas. Those are the bigger ones. There's like 3 in that set, but she had cut it up. Well, then we're like, oh, well, that's pretty cool. But then we kind of shrunk some down and took all of the X's and made them in various sizes and such. And so in that volume 1 set of strippers, that's what you get, are all those different X's. So it's a great set. You can't go wrong with the strippers.
Itchy eyelid. Okay, now, you saw me use the glass stuff. This is the glass stuff through, and I wish
I think it's like gesso.
I had that stencil here. I had them all together. And
you didn't hand that to me.
I know I didn't. But look at this. Talk about texture.
Oh, those are just glass beads, I think, in pasta.
And then I just did some washout stuff on top of them. Here I said, let's see. Washout of custom impasto paste butter, allowed to dry, added wash and blotted with a paper towel. But these are great little things. You can see I've already torn one out to tear them out and glue them down for that little bit of interest on one of your. And this is done with the beads also, and U.S. Art Supply. You can see it's not quite as heavy duty. And then this is with the black modeling paste and the glass beads.
She knows that because she left herself notes.
Yeah.
I love it when you leave yourself notes and we pull this old stuff out.
Yeah, look at this.
We feel sure about it.
Look at that little dauber.
That's a good one.
Isn't that a good one? And I don't. That's a really nice piece of paper there. Okay, but this is just the paper that comes in your
I have lots of
your Amazon order. Here is an example of wonky net.
Yes.
On top, a small wonky net on top of big wonky net.
Wonky net stencil versus wonky net mask. 2 different, I mean, same kind of, they came from the same thing, but they do different things.
Okay, I don't want it to print on that because I think that doesn't need black. It needs some kind of whatever. But look at this, and I'm not even sure how I did this.
That looks like just some swirly whirly brushy
business. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I really wish I had any of those round.
What are you trying to do?
I just thought I needed something round here, but you know what? I don't really. I'm just gonna come along here with Geopoly and try to match up. I'm gonna flip it.
Oh yeah, we got
And then if I come over here Well, that's off a bit, but you get the idea. You can actually make that so that this looks like it's a
Full pattern.
full pattern, square. Okay, let's see if we can.
Ah, that's great, Jennifer. Oh, Eddie's circles would be good on this. His unraveling kind of.
Yes, and also the ones that he has the little offset squares.
Those are good mark makers.
I watched him do that the other day.
Yes.
Well, I'm off here, so it doesn't really matter, but you get the idea. And this is really interesting because this paper, you can see it's the craft paper. But it has enough coats of paint on it
That it's become more slicky.
that it's become more.
Because it has tooth to it. And that's what creates that really.
It does.
It gets mealy really quickly because of that texture of the paper already.
Hoping to get a really good stamp of this right
You're making
down
me
here
crazy
on the
with
end.
shaking. And if you just,
Table shaking.
put ink in your pad.
Oh, all right.
Oh, that's
Even
good.
though it's kind of yucky looking.
I think that was a good call. That's a good thing.
But that's because the paper has paint on it. It will always react differently than if it's just dry
Yes.
paper. Okay.
Yes.
Got some good stuff going on over here. Let's clean off our stamps.
Where are we at and what are we moving on to now?
We're going to do some. I want to go ahead and get some of the Scrafito going because then I can take and use that and put stencils on over.
Okay.
Pull it with stencils.
Yeah.
Okay. These all go back in the box over here. We may use them later, but I think this is wonderful material to collage with.
Hello, Mary. How are you doing?
And I did show you my peel off of my brayer. Got that in the same little
I
thing
think she's
there.
shown it to y'all twice. If you haven't seen it, just let us know. She'll show it again.
Do you want to? Y'all
Y'all want to see the Brayer skin?
Okay, I'm going to leave this here and brayer off this. Okay, Mariah, I'm throwing these over to you.
Oh, I thought you were
because this is what's making my card get
unhappy.
wonky. I forgot about this.
Oh, Crackle-acking. You want to create Crackle?
Yes.
There you go. Well, you could Crackle and then Scrafito.
Well, actually, I could. And I could just kill two birds with one stone.
Why not?
And, all right, so we've got two blacks that we're using here.
Becky would like a giveaway.
Becky is ready for a giveaway.
Yeah. Should I cue that up while you're
Yeah, while I'm
about
getting
that?
this ready to go here.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do the, okay, since I've already got the list here of the 1,000 somebodies, and then we will call this, well, no, I'll tell you what, sorry, scratch that. We're going to do our loverly, my makeup loverly, on the right one here.
I like to crinkle this different ways, simply because then I won't have like a dominant line that's just going to show up.
Right.
And I've learned that by doing it.
There's a good way to crackle and then a not so great way. All right, I have the wheel up. This is the redo
See, I
sort
don't
of,
like
or the,
that shape there.
additional loverly spin. I'm spinning.
I'm a lot more picky about looking at this before I put it down than I used to be when I just, crumple it all up and slap it on there.
Patricia L. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I know, because we have a couple of different Patricias, so I'm going to double check. Right, I actually think that's supposed to be, okay, yeah. Patricia. Okay, I'm going to mark that over here and highlight my thing. And I will reach out to her. Because I don't, unless Patricia L., you are in the chat, do let me know. And then you can pick a plate. I have, you have a 5x7 or a 8x10 over there, or do you?
I'm using an 8x10 right now.
No, I meant, but of the packages, of the ones that we have to give away.
No, you took them all.
Oh, I took the ones, okay, that we were giving away. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully I've got enough paint out there. This is that stuff that I'm really working on trying to get the right amount.
There you go, guys.
And I do think that this paint, one of the reasons that we have it, or they gave it to us, was because it is getting to probably reaching its expiration date, because I can smell it.
Oh, it's getting a little funky.
But it's okay. The smell does not hurt. I've used that stuff that smells like, you know, dog puke. And it works just fine. And by golly, I'm going to use it. Okay. Various things you can do here.
These are for the Loverly Artie Perk members. So, if you are a Loverly member over on the PM Artist Studio website, then you should be on that list. That is the list.
Okay, you see what that looks like. Now what I'm doing, I'm grabbing another plate. And because this is open paint, you get that. So what you end up here is you have this, you have your original, and then you can actually take this and you can doodle in it, and you can draw things and make. Well, it's drawing pretty fast.
Yeah, it is.
There. Whoa.
It's not gonna let her draw anything.
Well, I'm kind of messing up some of the.
If you say so. That did dry quick.
And then we'll let this dry completely, and we'll come in and pull it with a cool metallic or something. Okay, so we've got this one here. You see that? And then we've got this one, and then we have our this will be cool.
That is cool.
And see how nicely.
Hi, Erna.
And here, look, there's one of those little things that came off from the green and gold. I'm not terribly excited about having that on there, but I can chop it off on the edge. It'll be okay. All right. Let's bring back a smaller one here and see if we can get some.
And I think what I'm going to do for the international one, because it was suggested, and I'm like, that's a brilliant idea. I think what we'll do is we'll just say that we're going to do like a $20 gift card. Because, I mean, I would easily spend that in shipping.
And then they can use it on Amazon to buy whatever they want.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a
And
great
then I'll
idea.
give away the rest of the plates to all our, local people. Well, domestic.
Domestic. All right, this is bone black, and this is open. Can you see here what it looks like there? Can you see the difference between these two? Well, I've never used this before. So I'm thinking it's like a transparent black. Oh my goodness, it's
soupy.
It's honey.
Honey.
Trying to get that away from.
Yes.
And I don't know if this is
She usually does too, but then sometimes I get kind of grossed out. There's some paints that I'm just like, ugh. That one.
Now this doesn't have an odor to it. Okay, you see, this is a wonderful. This is what happens if you don't get this off of your brayer is going to start looking just exactly like that.
Creating visual texture.
Creating
And
visual
actual.
texture, which you may or may not be too terribly excited about. And the thing about it is,
Those little silicone tools are quite lovely for this.
and you don't have to worry about that it's mucking up your plate. All right, we're just going to leave those sort of kind of cool looking lines there. And now I could leave this and pull it with something else, but I really want to see what happens here. And I don't know what's going to happen here. This is a...
Yeah.
And I'm not pushing. I don't want to destroy my line work.
Right.
So I'm just lightly fluffing it. And we get something that looks like that.
Very cool.
It has a nice matte finish to it, I will say. That bone black. And I still have some cool stuff on the plate, which we'll just let that dry, and then we'll put something else down.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that was all just from that one. And I did go
Hey, Cheryl.
All right, so see how smooth my brayer is now? Because
Hi,
I
Alice.
got that off over here. This is starting to look very cool. And I like this
that.
quality of this paint.
This bone black.
Yes. It's very soft. It's very matte.
It's interesting that both that bone
'Cause
black and your green had that kind of, it does that.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Or whatever. So here's the carbon black at the top. And then this is the bone black down at the bottom. Both of them are open, by the way. I should say that. I think this is going to be wonderful to do some, a white over the top of that will be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I've got to move this because this is,
Drying.
it's still,
Wet.
yeah. Now this,
It's not dry as a bone.
it is not dry as a bone. This is going to be wonderful. And remember, what you can do is you can straighten this out now. You know, kind of straightened out with your
Stretch it.
hand. So that the crinkles are less obvious. And then you print over it. And do I have a... But look how nice and clean that.
Paula wants to know, so it's one of the golden paints, and it's open.
Yeah, and you can see here, it's semi-transparent.
Yeah, and then keep in mind, now somebody else said that they used bone black, so it obviously, I don't know if it's still available, because we did find out with that, Arlen yellow, that I think that it has been discontinued because I couldn't find it in stock anywhere.
Yeah, and see, I've used this carbon black. I've got it in the fluid, and I also have it in heavy body.
Yeah.
But I've never used, I didn't have open. You know, I'm really tickled to death to get the open because we don't normally
We wouldn't buy it. We wouldn't
order it.
Yeah.
Because
It has pushed you into some other areas, and I like that.
and I think that's important. That's important in your
Awesome, Julie.
Okay, we're going to do an opposite. I need to get my keep piece of paper back down here because
Oh, Gerald.
oh, my cautious me.
She's like, I think I could do it better than you.
My cautious me.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Something.
Uh-huh. Dang it, I didn't. I
Mal-
went to... Yes.
What was it?
What was it, Gerald?
Gerald, what was it? Come on now.
Oh, we were so tickled. Obviously not tickled enough to remember exactly what it was, but, you know. Our poor
I
little
remember
brains.
the micacious me, and it's something
Magnolia something.
Miss Magnolia.
That's right. Miss Magnolia. Look at it. See,
My cautious me,
Miss Magnolia.
And he said that's what they used to, say in the, okay, now
Hello, Andrea.
I'm going to put this down on here and see what happens and see if it goes into crevices and kind of disperses that way.
Looks a little bloody and murdery right now.
So we're doing, this is one way to emphasize the lines that you already have. And texture. Because, I mean, it's just a little bit of both.
You can also spray those. Your crinkle papers. Just spray
I know.
them and get
I think
good
I did a
ombre in
marvelous
one.
job crinkling that.
You did.
Look how uniform and equally spaced the crinkles are.
And you
for
might
the
think
most
that we're
part.
silly talking about this, but I tell you, the last time, okay, so it was probably good 2 years ago now at this point, maybe a year and a half or whatever, when we did all the crack-a-lacking. But she became a professional crinkler because she was like, okay, this is not making me happy. So, like,
I just, you know, had big old...
she worked on it.
Yeah. And you get so that you recognize when it's going to work and when it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, this was done with the carbon black.
Yes, the crinkle was done with the carbon black.
The crinkle was done with the carbon black.
And we call it crinkle or crackle. If it's big, it's crackle. If it's little, it's crinkle.
Yeah.
Size matters.
It do. I don't know what I want to do to that.
She had.
But I have to share this little bit of information. I think I may have mentioned it the other day, but we're gonna actually do it.
Hey, if it's good information, it's worth repeating.
By God, that is the truth. Truth, absolute. Okay, I've already got one of my. Where is it? Started mixing paint here.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do?
You write down all these, Paula.
Oh gosh, I blocked it off.
Those of you that have come in, do give those thumbsy upsies. Say hello in the chat, because we like to say hello back.
Maybe I can wrestle it out of here.
And be sure to come back. Leave those comments. If you're watching on replay, we love the comments. I have just been informed today, though, according to a YouTube video, that the comments may or may not have a true effect on anything. I don't know. But we like reading them. That's the effect that it has.
Light molding paste, okay? By Golden.
This is the light and fluffy of Golden.
Yes, and I don't know if this was the one that they sent or not. But what they said was if you want to opacify your paint, mix some of this stuff with it. Well, we already know we like this bone black, right? And it's kind of matte anyway.
Oh, was that Carnival that you crinkled? Or,
yes.
Okay, yeah.
It was.
But another great crinkler is the deli paper.
It is.
And that sulfite drawing paper. I think it's sulfite drawing paper, something like that.
Yes.
Works really well. Now, it's harder to get a more uniform crinkle on it. Like, you have to kind of go at it a couple times.
Okay, well, this is doing some interesting stuff over here. I'm going to mix it. Of course, I got too much black.
Awesome. Hey, Dawn.
Get a little bit more my modeling paste here.
Oh, what's the name of the spray that we use to spray our poles? What do you mean, Ketra? Like all of the different sprays that I use, all kinds of different ones. Lindy's is some of my favorite. But I use all kinds of things, and a lot of the things I have are all just mixed up. And they also, okay. I was kind of wondering,
we're going with the medium-sized mesh.
Medium mesh. I don't know if you've ever really kind of done it this way.
Well, I told you I'd be doing some different stuff, Mariah.
I like it. Shaking it up. She's meshing it up.
I'm meshing.
It's a real meshy situation.
Meshy.
Getting meshy with it.
And I'm going to clean that off. I'm not going to worry about cleaning that off because that's my brushy, my mixing. But I am going to see if I can get some stuff going on here with this. And I know that this is, I don't know how much the opacity of the, is going to change the
whenever there's
drying time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know that either.
So we're going to see if it's... But it does have a slight texture to it. I can feel the little squares.
Nice. Oh, there you go, Gerald.
Mycacious me. I'll be saying that until everybody is just about ready to puke.
They want shirts.
Well, what do y'all think? I mean,
I love that.
And it's going to be a lovely collage-y thing. And the other thing about it is you have lots of paper showing through here. So you could use Mariah sprays. You could put it down on the gel plate and you could brush on some different colors to get some different effects. And I still have a whole bunch of...
Nope, just paper, Alice. Just paper.
Let's see if we can get the rest of that off of there. I don't know. Push it.
Push it. Push.
Push it good.
And push. Hello, Sophia. We showed your stamps earlier. Everybody loves them. You'll have to come back and watch the beginning. Well, or middle. Or you can watch the whole thing.
Looky there.
Oh, nicely done, P. I like that better than the first one.
I know, me too. But I love the velvety texture of that paint. And that was what I was kind of seeing in that first, you know, where I was, now, see, we've still got some good stuff there. Seeing in that Brayer.
Gladys ovals and the wonky, the wonky stripe.
What did I do with it? Here it is.
Alice, but yes, it was used in more. Yes.
This is the quality that I was talking about of the paint because it has a soft feel to it. A very cloudy, kind of misty feel.
Almost suede-like.
Sueded. Yes, that is the perfect word. It has a sueded feel to it. Whereas this, you're seeing more of that.
Finished leather.
Of the, how it, you know, does the ripply effect. Now, we did still have some of that. But I think that's just wonderful.
Yeah.
And if, I don't know if you really can see that, but up here, I can't touch it yet because it's still wet. That's actually going to have texture. And that was pulled off of the plate.
I love that.
Okay. Thank you, Golden.
All right, you got 30 minutes.
And here is the wipe off.
Softer texture.
There we go. Okay, now I've still got time.
30 minutes. I know. You're doing
okay.
well.
Now what we're going to do is that's probably not going to be a good candidate. And that's probably not.
What's up next here?
We're going to, okay, I'm going to hand you these guys because I don't know if I really want to. Oh, we've got this modeling paste here. Let's just do it. Holy cow.
Is that cheating on Visual Texture Day?
It's cheating on Visual Texture Day.
Okay, we're allowed. We're letting you know. We're being honest with you. Sometimes some actual texture, like I said, is needed in order to get visual.
I want to get this on here so I can start drawing a little bit. And then we're going to work on some more visual texture. I'm trying to hit these spots where it's darker.
To break it up a little.
To break it up ever so slightly.
Oh, thank you, Mo. And Ketra, I don't know if you saw that, but Mo put in a link to some info on, like, that we did about sprays.
All right, I want to get a little bit down here. And I'm hoping this dries as fast as Light and Fluffy. I mean, I know Light and Fluffy dries fast, but...
I would assume so. And you aren't putting it on, like, super
I am not
thick.
putting it on thick at all. I'm just trying to get a smear of it in these areas where... And I'm still picking up a little bit of black from my... But I don't think that that's going to be a big issue.
Oh, that's a good call, too. Sonia says sometimes it's the paper you use. So it may or may not dry as fast being on top of paint.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's what she was alluding to, but that's what it made me think of.
It doesn't, you know, come out of its orifice very cleanly.
You've been dealing with the jars the last couple of days. It's hard to switch back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. But I noticed it's activating the paint, too.
Yeah. Well, I still had some of my...
And your other meshies are attacking.
Yeah. That's all right. It's all... Yeah. Back! You beasts.
They wanted to get in on that meshy action.
Yeah.
They're feeling left out.
Leaping over there. It's not your turn. Yeah. Okay, that looks really wonderful. Now, let's see.
I don't mess this up. I love this one.
Oh, God. There's now a piece of paper.
Just going to use that mouth. You can do whatever you want to this one. You've already made a statement with it.
I have. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this stuff that keeps falling over here and making me want to spit nails.
Sorry, Lisa. It is the golden, what do they call it? It's, you know, the main texture paste we like to use is the Light and Fluffy. They call theirs what? What is the name of it? There you go.
Light molding paste. Pasta moliado lagira. Alagi.
Okay, come on. Got 27 minutes. Hey, I'm keeping you on track. You said you wanted to finish things, so I'm helping you.
Okay, well, I'm just having to think a minute here. What I want to do to this.
Okay.
And I don't know if I can find my...
I didn't want her to mess it up.
Oh, and I did want to do a flop off with the flowers.
Yeah.
So
for line making.
And see, I think that would be really beautiful on this.
Yeah.
Coppery paper.
Yes.
That was a brayer off and
it's spectacular.
A floppy off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oops, I don't want to cover that up. I want that to be drying. Oh yeah.
Are you writing them all down, Paula?
It's gonna dry. It's gonna dry fast. But this stuff is still...
I tell you, Helen, you know, it kind of is, but it's also sort of re-energizing in a lot of ways. Like P woke up this morning. She was super excited about all the things. Because this kind of brings around... It highlights all the fun things, I think, that we like to do in all the different ways. And where it's not specific to a project. So we get to just play around more, I think, right?
Hey, check this out. That is a clean plate. I'm worried about that area right there.
Can I get a yes, yes?
Yes, yes.
She may not know what she's agreeing to.
Look at that.
Fabulous.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's weird and wonderful. It's so kind of, you know, it's a little edgy, but yet, you know, it's
and
very
we had
pop arty.
A little bit, yeah. I really,
Mm-hmm.
And it fits perfectly with my theme that I'm going to work on next, which is geometrics. I love
job,
that in
Johnny.
between. What?
Tina Schwanberg has made her husband join the chat, so there's another thumbsy upsy. sure he'll really appreciate the art stuff that starts popping up in his feed for a little bit.
Okay, I need to get off the edge of the gunk here.
Yes.
Because I really want this to work. Just, you know, and be beautiful like it is. Okay. We're going to use the carbon black. And remember, this is a little bit stiffer than the bone black. And that could explain partially what is going on here as far as the viscosity and everything of this. This is honey. This is jelly.
Food items.
Yeah. Okay, what am I looking for here? Oh, I'm looking for a spatula. And I want to get down, you know, a good layer. And I'm not, you know, it's because I wished I could move this all over so I can have a good place to put my brayer off paper, because sometimes it's hard for me to get it all in. Oh, Sandy, did you notice my scarf today? Sandy, did you notice my scarf
Hold on,
today?
I was queuing up the next giveaway. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first 500 and then I'll do the other 500 on a different string. How's that sound, y'all? Because, like I said, I have two 5x7s. We're going to go ahead and just call that the 8x10 will go to Patricia from the Loverly pick, and then we'll do the two 5x7s, or we'll do a 5x7 and the other one on another day, and maybe then the international one on another day. I think that sounds like a plan, right? Does that sound like a plan? That's the way I'm going to do it.
Okay, I didn't get a very good placement on that, but it was just as good as I could get without.
I got mine pinned up.
Losing it.
See all of it
all together. And hopefully I got a good...
It looks, I mean, at least it's not blurbing out. But then you need to pull that baby up. Oh, well done. Now show the folks. Don't drop it in the hoopty-doo. Look at that. Now that's a flop off.
That is a good one. Very happy with that. Okay, we're going to use, I'm just going to play with this a bit here since I've already got it going.
Marina would like to know what happened to the cherry blossom mask with the texture paste. Now remember, some of that stuff's going to come back into play with some of the other things that we're doing.
Oh, that we did? Well, yeah, because we're going to put that in with either watercolor or it's just going to be the collage business that's going on.
I think it'll be fun to play around with some of that with the watercolor.
I do too. Now I'm pressing a little bit more this time because I want to get, I didn't want to press so much on that first because I wanted that paint not to squish out underneath this.
You got black
stencil.
Simmer down. You're going to end up like looking like you've been, you know, cleaning chimneys. You're good. You're good. Don't get too wild and crazy there.
I don't want to, yeah, I've got it all over my hands because and that's why you should use a kitchen towel. I wanted that paint to adhere to the back of that stencil rather than squish out and do the design. So I'm going to show you the difference here.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. These are the cherry blossoms in the 5x7. It's a great little...
Itchy nose, and I know Mariah keeps telling me I'm getting black paint all over my face.
You're good now. Ooh. That's always impressive. I don't know why. It's really, like, not that, you know. That's not that difficult.
No, it really.
But it always looks impressive.
It really does. All right, we're still going to get some more here.
Because these open paints.
Really rubbing. Yes, open. This is what's glorious about the open paint. Is because it's not going to be drying up. I can. Okay, what I'm on my 4th print here.
Mm-hmm. No worries, Cheryl. You can ask it now if you want.
What is it?
She said she was going to ask the question 20 minutes ago, but she forgot to press enter.
Oh, isn't that... that's the story of my life. All right, here we go. Look at that wonderful stuff we have going on the edges here.
That looks like a woodcut.
It does. Because of that. Oh, I don't want to put that on top of that. No. Now we're going to... And you know what we could do at this point? We could start a long haul.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, you got 20 minutes. But
Well,
she's
I'm
saying
I'm just saying. But here, now look at this.
more lines. I think the open paints are the perfect paint to get the lines, the actual reproduction of a stencil, not just the inner part, you know.
You just have to be patient with it because this is going to take probably
Christy.
an hour to dry. Because number one, I put that paint on there really thick because I wanted that nice, crisp.
Well, she needed enough to get...
I need to get my flop off, and I need to shut up and get this off my paper because it will.
I mean, yeah, there's... That's pretty cool looking, too, I think. Ain't too shabby. That's fun. Looks like, you know, industrial meets
floral.
Yes.
Yeah, the sidewalk meets the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And it still has that sort of carved feeling to it. And, you know, depending on what we pull that with, I think that's going to be absolutely stunning. All right, I am loving this paint so much. Oh my gosh, but look at this. I need to take care of this right now.
You do that, and I'm going to do a giveaway.
All right, do you see this?
Oh.
If you don't get that off of there, you're going to have that ripply effect of...
It'll just keep building.
On your brayer. And you don't want that. But look what wonderful...
Look at all that black that's there.
Look at all that black that was still there.
Keeps giving. Okay, I'm going to turn the wheel on. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Here you guys go. Look at all those names. That's half of the list. I'll do the other half in a different stream. But here we go. Now, keep in mind, if I do accidentally end up on an international, then I'm going to be doing the, you know, but it wasn't Jennifer McKinnon. 5x7's coming your way, sweetie. Unless, I will give you a choice, Jennifer McKinnon. I don't know if you want these little ones. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna turn that off. It's so funny because the little wheel or the thing starts to kind of like... I'm so happy. I know Jennifer's been wanting to win something. I know you've been wanting. I'm so happy that
who is our one that always wins something?
Well, the Nancy's, like, they kept sweeping on the cards during Christmas. Remember that? It was like all the Nancy's.
Try to get this off.
We have a few. Okay, so you can pick if you want the 5x7 or do you want this little set of the
circle, rectangle, and triangle.
Well, it's an oval, a hexagon, and a rectangle. See, this one's different than... Oh, don't... God, she's such a poo-poo head.
See? I don't have that.
She doesn't have those shapes.
I don't have that or that.
No, you have the circle, the triangle, and the square, I think is what yours is.
Mariah says that she's going to order those for me.
And she didn't say that, but that's fine.
You said that, Mariah. when I got all upset because
I know, and then I ordered you a big plate because that was your first wah. And then she's like, but then I really want one of those circle plates too.
I want to play around with that round one.
Okay, 5x7. I'm putting your name on it. And then we'll do the other ones at another point. I gotta write these names down because I just will, like, you know, forget.
Well, and I want y'all to make sure that you join me during the watercolor because I have a surprise all my own, and I'm not even going to tell Mariah.
Oh, look at that.
A surprise giveaway during the watercolor.
Wow.
I don't know if I'll do it day 1 or day 2.
Well, I kind of like to just, you know, whenever the time sort of makes sense. You know? And a 5x7 is a very useful. It's a good one to like.
That's what I've been using today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna put that up there. What color here? Oh, let's see. Oh, Mariah.
Yes.
Over there on top of the chomper.
On top of the chomper.
There is a. There's a print. Kind of turquoisey, and it has little squares on it.
Okay, what am I? It's purple and it has squares on it. Would it?
Kind of not purple, turquoisey.
Oh, this one with the flowers.
No. Keep looking.
This thing.
That one.
Okay, this has got a lot of things on it. This looks like some of your work that's been in a few streams or.
Yes. Okay. So you see, and this is the ATC version of
Wonky Net.
Wonky Net.
The mask.
But it also there's some other stuff. I think it's puzzle.
Yes. I don't know what the swirly stuff is in the middle.
And there's some other stuff here.
If you flatten it out, I might be able to see a little bit. But thank you. That looks like either some ironwork or. It's got a Rhonda feel to it.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe one of those.
Yeah.
And definitely this over here is. Because see the little swirly doos on the side there. But anyway, as Mariah said, this is a 5-pound piece of paper.
Yes, that is
employed a lot of different techniques. Now that's what I'm going to try to get going on this one.
And hello, Jan.
And when you look at this, obviously, it's visual texture. But in this case, you have that nice little surprise. It is also actual.
Okay, so Marina asks, would an extender, yes, so like a retarder or even some of the different fluid additives, some of them do different things like the GACs and the, you know, this and that, do extend the dry time, also the viscosity of the paints as well. So yes, you can. You can turn a very quick drying paint into a slower drying paint by adding those.
The retarder.
Yeah.
And I just use U.S. Art Supply.
Yeah.
Golden also has it, and I don't remember what they call it, but
it's just a little more expensive.
It's all the same difference. I mean, really, seriously, it is. Okay,
Hi, Sheila.
I don't know, and I know that it's going to change some things on here.
Yeah.
So maybe I should go ahead and go over this with another stencil just to get a little bit more of that same stuff going on that I did on this one. Now, the other thing that I could do is because I don't think I use this one.
No.
But I think that might be interesting if I would take this one.
Are you going to do a flop off?
And some of my soft gel. Of course, I won't be able to print it then. So it won't dry in time. But I think it's worth it for you to see this. I'm just going to go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
Even though we're not going to be able to get a finished print today, I will try to go really
bring it back in
as thin as I possibly can. All right, this is the consistency. It will fall off if I Now, because I'm going to print this again,
that's usually how it goes, Jan.
what is that?
She says, gosh, the first day I used my jelly printing supplies, I didn't stop for 6 hours and had almost 80 papers. Tissues over a music sheet, recycled chew box, but yeah, she printed on everything.
I had an arthritic shoulder event after.
Yeah, she has built up her one side.
I think I got a pretty decent.
Don't mess around and
Yeah,
try to get more on there.
All right, I'm going to flop this off over here and go ahead and some of the paint, the blue stuff is coming through.
Yeah, a lot of those mediums will reactivate the paint. So, yeah.
For whatever reason. Okay. I'm going to put that up there. All right, now what else was I going to do here?
Oh.
A lot of that you're not going to be able to see until you go over it with another color.
All right, and I just kind of want to point out here for a second. All right, you saw the big blue shiny thing that has lots of layers on it just moments ago, right? It started out somewhere kind of like this thing, and that's why I say you may have seen this along, you know, in other streams at different points in time. Like a lot of this stuff will kind of come and creep back in, and that you should have like a box of things next to you that you can do flop offs or do the mark making, you know, get the stamp, you know, if you want to stamp off all the ink, but then, you know, you have some papers that are, you know, make that your next, you know, masterboard type situation once again, because you can utilize these then to make, it could be the most wonderful journal cover. It could be mini ATCs. It could be, all, you know, tags, all sorts of things. But again, not to waste any of the paint or medium or whatever you're using. Texture paste. It's a great way to like just build up lots of different cool layers and not worry about what you're making.
Yeah, because I think once you start doing, you make it all precious and everything, then you're not going to do some cool stuff to it.
Yeah. Or create a dump journal like Carrie did. I love Carrie's dump journal, and it's such a great idea, and it seems very freeing, which is so wonderful.
All right, now I am going to hold this up into the light because I do think that you can see what's going on here as far as can you see the patterns that have been created?
Yeah, and once that dries, what's really cool is it will become a resist.
It will become a resist.
And depending on what you use, it will resist more, or it could just take some of the pigment or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to put that
That's right, Christy.
back in the horse because I'm afraid it's got some blue on it.
Oh, and thank you, Mo. Yes, so this is day 2 of the March Mixed Media Masteries. Mo has put the schedule there in the chat. Tomorrow we will be back at 10 a.m., which is not a usual day for us. So that's going to be fun. And tomorrow is what is sort of on the agenda. We've been kind of, and I told Pete she could be really loose about this. I just wanted to have some kind of idea, but it'll be the first day of watercolor. And she'll be using the graphite colors and papers.
All right, so let's check these off here. Crumpled tissue, check. Shadow technique, check. Stamping repeatedly, check. Offsetting stencil, well, I didn't actually do one for you.
But you did show the example.
But I did show the example, and I could do one.
Well, you got 5 minutes. I think you should wrap it up.
I
Buttercup.
think we need to wrap it up. All right, prints from texture plates. Dadgummit, I knew there was something. We didn't do that, and I had them in a little envelope. And I think, did I hand the envelope to you, Mariah?
You did not.
Well,
but I remember you showing it to me. It got buried.
I had the kitty, the skull,
Mm-mm. Oh, actually, you didn't show me that. I didn't know that it was the kitty, the skull, and the whatever.
And was it in an envelope? Where's the stuff I handed you in an envelope?
I do not have an envelope. But we can probably get into a little bit of that tomorrow-ish, maybe. No?
Well, if I can find the dadgum things, I don't know what I did with them. I had them out here, of course.
They were queued up.
They were queued up. Okay, so we didn't do that one. Direct drawing and wet paint, we did that. Found objects.
You showed the example.
I think, yeah.
And you guys have seen that numerous times.
You saw me do the thing with the net.
Yeah.
When I made the pockets for the
And our little roly
journal.
tape thing.
Yeah. Okay, and the cardboard tape and roll. And we did a little bit of this business. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, as Mariah is saying goodbye to you all, I'm just going to show you how I start these.
Well, you got 4 minutes. You can do that.
These drawings that, there's that one that's fatter. I want the fat. Fatter one.
Fatter one.
Fatter one. Here we go.
The plumper one.
Okay, actually what you just
Hey, Debbie.
you just start and you just kind of make it go. And it's going to talk to you. All right, this is already talking to me.
Nice, Sonia.
I've got some little kind of leafy things going on there. And I might come down here and do a little leafy thing down here. And the thing about it is you're moving and grooving. You're not thinking about anything, because once you start thinking about it, it goes to hell.
Well, your lines become more intentional, and that's really not what you want, because what you're doing is you're creating visual texture.
You just want it to look cool.
Yeah.
And remember, you can always come back in and emphasize certain areas. Remember that basket weave thing?
Hey, and another cool thing with this is again layer 1. Then come back in with your soft stamping. That's so cool. Layer up all the different things that you have. So, I think that's a good thing to leave it on. Hopefully, this inspired y'all to get into texture, not only as actual, but now moving it on into visual, and then combining the two in all the things that you utilize as a mixed media artist. We will be back here again, like I said, at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. We very much appreciate it. And come back, leave comments. Make sure that you share this with your friends. And give those thumbsy upsies if you're coming in and you haven't already. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.